Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing down the illusion of what it takes to get rich. We're going to dive into the cold, hard math of wealth building and show you exactly how to turn your finances into a completely automated machine. Let's kick things off with a pretty crazy paradox. Why on earth do households making a massive $500,000 a year still report feeling like they live paycheck to paycheck? I mean, it sounds totally impossible, right? But the ruthless math of financial freedom proves that simply earning more money is rarely the actual solution. If earning a bigger paycheck was the silver bullet, those high-income earners would be totally stress-free. But spoiler alert, they're not. To really understand why this happens, picture this scenario. It's a random Tuesday night. You're chilling on the couch and you decide, hey, I'm going to check my bank balance. You don't really want to. It's practically an extreme sport at this point. But you look anyway. You know you've made good money this month, but that final balance, it's somehow way, way lower than you expected. And you just sit there, staring at the glowing screen, completely unable to explain where all that cash actually went. Well, here's what actually happened. Your wealth isn't being drained by, luxury sports cars or massive, extravagant European vacations. It's bleeding out through a phenomenon called death by 1,000 little swipes. It's the $7 artisanal coffees you grab on the way to work. It's those $12 dusk lunches. It's those sneaky, recurring monthly streaming subscriptions you signed up for and literally haven't watched since 2021. These tiny, totally frictionless transactions are just quietly bleeding your accounts dry without you even noticing. Let's ground this with a specific case study to see how this builds into a very real problem. Meet Marcus. Marcus is a 28-year-old engineer pulling in a very healthy $94,000 a year. And look, from the outside, looking at his life, his nice apartment, his clothes, Marcus looks like he has it totally figured out. He is the absolute picture of young professional success. But right behind that illusion of success is a genuinely terrifying reality. Despite a really great salary, Marcus is exactly one bad month away from absolute zero. Seriously, one emergency, one unexpected layoff, and he has zero safety net. The contrast between his high income and this total lack of actual wealth is staggering. He is making great money, yeah, but he's keeping almost none of it. So what exactly went wrong for Marcus? Well, he's a textbook victim of lifestyle inflation. This is quite possibly the single most efficient wealth-destroying force available to a working adult. It means that perfectly absorbing every single pay bump into your daily spending just becomes second nature. You get a $5,000 raise at work, and magically, your yearly expenses increase by exactly $5,000. You upgrade the apartment, you lease a slightly nicer car, and your actual savings, they stay exactly at zero. And here is the truly ruthless part of the math. It's not entirely your fault. Your brain is actually hardwired to sabotage you through a psychological trap called hedonic adaptation. Think about it. When you buy something new or finally get that promotion, you get a quick hit of dopamine. It feels amazing. But your brain quickly normalizes it. Suddenly, that brand new car just feels like your normal, everyday car, and you're instantly back on a treadmill, wanting the next, slightly better thing. This psychological loop practically ensures you never actually feel richer, even when your income literally doubles. This perfectly highlights why we need to completely shift our focus. Most people out there are stuck performing wealth for others. They're buying all the flashy upgrades just to show the world they're successful, all while sweating it out on that stressful financial treadmill. But real wealth is entirely different. Real wealth is quiet. It's built on owning assets, driving reliable used cars, and deliberately declining upgrades that you just don't need. It's about building an independent, unstoppable machine for yourself, rather than just an illusion for your neighbors. To escape being comfortably stuck in that exact same illusion as Marcus, we have to create something absolutely vital. We call it the 1% gap. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about massive deprivation or eating rice and beans for a decade. It's about creating a protected, deliberate space between what you earn and what you spend. Because that tiny margin, that gap between your income and your outflow, is exactly where your financial freedom lives. If there's no gap, there is no freedom, period. You might be familiar with author James Clear's famous advice, make yourself 1% better every single day. Well, we are going to apply that exact same powerful logic to your money. By simply automating just 1% more of your income into an investment account, you tap into the massive, world-changing power of compounding. You really don't need to save half your paycheck starting today. You just need to find that initial 1% to get the ball rolling. Let's actually look at the concrete math here. Saving just $50 a month might seem totally pointless, right? Like, why bother? But if you automate that tiny amount into a broad index fund, getting, say, an 8% return, over 30 years, it compounds into roughly $70,000. That is the 1% gap hard at work. It's small, incredibly consistent action, expanding massively over time. But here is the catch, and it's a big one. Humans are spectacularly bad at making repetitive good decisions. Relying on willpower is a universally flawed strategy. Honestly, if you have to consciously choose to move that $50 every single month, you will eventually fail. You'll have a stressful day, or you'll see something cool you want to buy, and bam, the money doesn't get invested. To fix this, we need to completely remove willpower from the equation altogether and build what is called cold architecture. You literally have to automate your success so it just happens entirely without you. So, let's turn this theory into a practical guide. Here are your step-by-step instructions to building this cold architecture right now. Step 1, track your spending for just 7 days to find those invisible leaks we talked about. You're specifically looking for the mindless purchases that aren't actually buying you any real happiness. Step 2 is setting up a 2-account system. And step 3 is automating that initial 1% transfer. Let's zoom in on step 2 for a second, because this is the absolute core of your new financial machine. This system requires routing your paycheck directly into a bills account. Then, and this is where the real magic happens, your gap money instantly and automatically transfers to a separate investment account. This has to happen immediately, way before you ever have the chance to see that money sitting in your available balance, and long before you ever have the chance to spend it. Once that baseline architecture is built, you need to future-proof it. To make absolutely sure you never end up back on that exhausting hedonic treadmill, you must apply this exact same logic to every single raise you ever get in the future. The rule is brilliantly simple. Capture at least half of that new money immediately and automatically route it straight to your investments. This stops lifestyle inflation dead in its tracks before your spending habits can ever catch up to your new salary. The ultimate goal here is to have your investments start buying more assets, generating pure value for you while you literally sleep. Listen, the people who build real, lasting wealth are the ones who finally decide they are done being one random Tuesday away from a total financial disaster. They don't wait around for the perfect salary to begin. They build their cold architecture today. So don't be a Marcus. Track those leaks, open that second account, and find your 1% today. The only question left is, will you start before you're ready?